The Preview Annotation tool allows the user to get a preview of what the annotation is going to look like on a selected terminal strip. Let's take a look at one. So I'm going to pick the Preview Annotation icon from the menu, and I'm going to pick on this terminal right here. So this is showing me a preview of the annotation, both the internal and the external side, for TB2 in location RK1. Now I've already defined that this has 14 terminals. In the left-hand column, we are seeing the internal connections. For example, for terminal 1, we're seeing that it is connected to TB10, terminal 11, as well as to 11 PCB V3, pin B31. So those are all of our internal connections. In the right-hand column, we have our external connections. On these, we're also seeing the cables that are connected. So for example, terminals 1 through 7 are all tied to cable C358. And you can see the conductor colors in this order: black, white, red, green, orange, blue, and white, black. And then you can also see where those wires are being connected. And in this case, it's all on rack 4, TB2 1 through 7. This tool allows you to do several things from this window. The first thing you can do is you can actually edit the far end data or far end external connections. So let's say I want to edit this connection right here. So I'll select that and hit the edit button. That brings up this window where I can manually edit the cable tag and conductor color, as well as the installation, location, tag, and pin of the far end component that this wire is connecting to. Now you should be very careful doing this because, as this warning says, this is a manual change, and this could potentially break the parent-child link between affected components, especially when you start changing tags. So be very careful when you do this. But one thing I can do is I can change maybe this pin from 1 to 8. And then I'm going to hit OK. And it's showing me that that is ready to be changed. And that'll be changed once I hit OK. So what happened was that change was made in the project database. And that pin, that terminal, is actually on a different drawing. It's on a drawing that's closed. But that information was changed. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to go back to the Preview Annotation tool and click on this terminal again. Now you can see it hasn't been updated here. That's because I haven't rebuilt the database. This information comes from whatever is the most recent information available in the project database. And if I don't update it, it's not going to reflect those changes here. So let me cancel out of this, and I'm going to rebuild the database. Okay, now that the database has been rebuilt, let's take another look at this terminal strip. Now you can see that this terminal, which was TB2-1, is now TB2-8. Let's show another feature of this tool. I'm going to select this terminal here, and I'm going to go to terminal number 1 on rack 1, TB2. And we'll take a look at this actual symbol right here. So I'm going to select Go To. And this is a lot like surfing. It takes you directly to the symbol, or in this case, it's going to always be a terminal that you wanted to go to. So if I pan down, there it is right there, RK4 TB2 number 8. So let's just demonstrate that this change actually happens. I'm going to close this drawing again. I'm going to come back to our original drawing, hit the Preview Annotation button, select TB2 again. We'll come back here. We'll edit this and change that to 1. Hit OK, and hit OK to process that change. Okay, I'm going to save it, rebuild the database again. And let's take another look. Here it is, back to 1 now. and I'm going to go to terminal number 1, and there it is right there. It's now rack 4, TB2, number 1. This is the one that I changed. This is the one that I'm surfing to or going to. That one right there. So this tool allows you to make changes to far and external annotation. And the reason that we limited it to external connections was because typically when we're going from a terminal strip out through a cable, we're winding up on another terminal strip. And we wanted to make sure that you were able to make those changes because those are simple changes. In the case of an internal connection, we're not allowing editing there because so often these are contacts with 2 or more pins on them. And if we could just change one of them and not change the other one, that would make things messy. And we don't want to do that. So we leave the internal connections alone, but the external connections, including the cables and the conductors, are all editable. So for example, if this is not the order of the conductors that it's supposed to be in, you could very quickly and easily just select each one of these and change them manually. Let's make sure that it's capitalized to maintain consistency there. Maybe we just need to switch blue and white for some reason. So those two would get changed when I hit OK. That would process that change. And I can do that and never need to go to that drawing. So that saves a lot of time to be able to see all the terminals on a single terminal strip and be able to make edits just from this window. Now sometimes a terminal will have multiple connections. In this case, there are 2. Now that could mean that I have a drafting issue, and I could resolve that by simply hitting the Go To button after I select the terminal I want to go to, and then I could redraft or make whatever edits I need to make. But in this case, if this is correct and there are 2 external connections on this terminal, I can choose which one to edit by hitting Edit, and then from here, I can select the one that I need to change, make whatever changes need to be done, hit OK, and once I hit OK, I process all those changes out. One last thing that this tool allows you to do is you can flip the internal and the external connections if the terminal itself has been marked with internal and external connections on either side. Now, if that has not been marked, then you can't flip them because all we're doing is we're flipping what has already been designated as an internal side to an external and vice versa. So if they're not marked, it won't do anything. But if they are, you see I can flip those. And in this case, none of the term description attributes have been assigned to internal or external values, so the connections on this terminal cannot be flipped. So this is another way that you can just very quickly and easily make updates or changes or corrections to connections on a terminal strip, as well as see what the annotation is going to look like. So this is another tool that's going to save a lot of time and will help significantly in the quality assurance, quality checking part of your project.